Today, we're going to be rating our home decor.
There are definitely a couple things that I spent a lot of money on and kind of wish I didn't.
Maybe they're right. How do I know? Do I even know? Do I like the color?
You guys want the tea for this next one.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelsey.
And my name is Becky.
And we are the Sorry Girls. And today, we're going to be rating our home decor.
We saw Janae Daly do this video a while ago, and I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. And then I asked Kelsey, I was like, is there anything that you don't like in your home anymore?
And I was like, I don't know, but like I'm open to this. And then as soon as we opened it up to the audience and asked on Instagram if there's any links you guys want, tea that you want, just questions that you have about our own personal homes. As soon as the messages started coming in, I was like, okay, we have a video. It's fine. We can do this.
I know. I didn't think I had many opinions until people asked me. And I was like, hold on, actually. Now that you asked, I have some thoughts.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the plan is that I'll take you guys around my space and answer some thoughts, questions, tea, and so will Becky. We also have a little announcement at the end of this video, which is super exciting. And I think, Becky, I want to hear from you what your biggest home DIY fail is or regret. Do you think you can think about that as you walk around your house?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. I mean, there's definitely things I've redone, but what my biggest one is, I'll have to think about it.
Most expensive, most hyped that like fell short. I'll try to think of something too, but we'll reconvene at the end and discuss those things. But I guess it's time to get the touring.
You wanna take it away?
All right, let's go, team. So I'm gonna start off by taking you guys downstairs. A lot of you asked me about my planter here. I got this from a store in Toronto. They make them. It's called GW General. I'll link it. And I know that you can find lots of these online too, so I'll try to link some non-local ones. I'd say that this girl gets a 7 out of 10. She's gray, and I don't have a lot of gray in my decor, but she looks really good. In the bathroom. This vanity, I absolutely love. I would definitely do it again. I think it gets a solid 8 out of 10. The only reason I deduct some points is because I fixed, I think, 4 out of the 6 drawers, but this one still isn't fixed. But that's because I don't need the storage yet. So maybe one day when I need the storage, I'll get to that. This bath tray, I would definitely say is a solid 9 out of 10. It was so easy to DIY and it comes in so handy when I'm having baths. And while we're here in the bathroom, I know we should probably talk about the toilet room because you guys like to tell me how much you don't like the color. And you're wondering if I like the color still, or am I lying? Honestly, you guys had me for a trip. When I first painted this, I was like, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. How do I know? Do I even know? Do I like the color? And you know what? After living with it not living with it, after experiencing it, after being in its presence for, the last couple of months, I like the color, okay? And I think everybody is starting to like brown, and I told you so, okay? Maybe you still don't like it, but I really like it. I do still wanna do some like texture up here. I feel like I wanna do like a little mini gallery moment in that corner. But as far as this color goes, it's staying. It's staying. I feel like it looks good with like the rest of the space, which is important. It's like it can be different enough, but still cohesive with everything. I like it. Oh, rating? You want a rating? Honestly, 8 out of 10. Sorry, not sorry. So in the bedroom, I know I wasn't the most confident when I was making over this space, but after living with it, I actually really love it. I find it so cozy, so simple, and it's a really nice place to come at the end of the day. A lot of you were wondering about my headboard because in the bedroom makeover video, I literally hot glued it to my wall and kept it together, I think, with some pins. I think it's definitely like relaxed a little bit, and I think it looks so mid-century modern, and I'm still in love with it. I'm not gonna lie, as much as I do love this lighter vibe that I have going on, I definitely do think about like a dark cave bedroom. I think that day will come for me, but
the dark days will come for me.
But right now, I'm really loving this vibe and I'm not in a rush to change it. My bedside lamps, wait, I need to rate my headboard. So although the headboard might have been like a 3 out of 10 when I was filming the bedroom makeover video, I feel like now it's at a 7 out of 10. Also, lots of questions on my bedside lamps. I absolutely love them. They are from EQ3, which is, I believe, a Canadian brand. They are super affordable, and I think the look is just classic. So I'm honestly gonna give these lamps a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. Wow, we should make lots of those references in this video. So some of you asked about this mirror. I wasn't going to include it, but you know, I want to be open and honest. So a lot of you were asking if I still like this mirror here, and I get it. It's kind of like weirdly in the middle of the wall. It doesn't feel like super cohesive. I think a small piece of like, you know, long rectangular art or something would look really cool on this wall. But my vision from the beginning was a big full mirrored wall. So this is kind of like my affordable hack instead of being able to mirror the whole wall. And you know what? We still like it. We're keeping it for now. So yeah, maybe aesthetically it's like a 3 out of 10. I don't think I nailed the vision, but functionally 10 out of 10. And then lastly, here in my bedroom, I have my bedside carafe, which I actually don't keep on my bedside. I keep it on my across the room dresser carafe. But I also love this. This is from Firm Living, with the brand Firm Living. I got it from a local seller, which is Studio Pazzo, I believe. And yeah, it definitely is a little bit expensive. I think this is around $50 Canadian, but I do use it pretty much every single day. And I don't know about you guys, but dusty water is not something I like to consume. So this means that you can just like always have water on your bedside and you don't have to constantly be refilling a glass. And it's freaking cute. It's cute. So knowing that's a little bit expensive, I'm gonna like deduct a few points, but I'm definitely gonna say like 8 out of 10. I'm hoping it's something I'll keep for ever.
All right, let's start over on this wall because I got some cues about the things over here. So this sconce up here is from CB2. It's the Mantis wall sconce, and I actually have 2 of them. I have one here above the piano, which is the one you asked about, and then I have another one over on that wall. This is one of the first actual decor pieces I bought for this house specifically, and I think they were about $200 a light, which in hindsight is very expensive. The question about whether or not this arm extends or not, no, it does not, and this is my one complaint about this light, is that the arm of it is very long. It's like 4 feet long, so if you want this light, you really need the space for it. I'm probably gonna give these like a 5 out of 10 just on the fact that they were really expensive and you need a lot of space for them. So if you have the space, they're really beautiful. Okay, next up is the piano. Where did it come from? How did I get it? I think I talked about this in a vlog perhaps, but I actually got this piano entirely for free. It came from a frat house in Toronto. It was literally sitting out on their porch, exposed to the elements. Didn't want it, so it was entirely free, but what I did have to pay for is the moving company because I don't know if you realize, but pianos are freaking heavy. This thing weighs a ton, so I can never move it now. And I think it was about $200 to pay a mover to bring it from the city to my home. But aside from the moving costs, the piano was entirely free. Do I think it was worth it? Yes. I think it's such a great statement piece in my home. 9 out of 10. Hallway hooks. These were actually an Amazon find. I believe they were a super good price. They came in a multi-pack. They are real teak wood, which is like what's used in all the mid-century furniture. I love them. They look so expensive. 10 out of 10. There will be a link for them below. The leather chair that's in your living room. So this chair actually isn't real leather. It's from Structube. I think it's called the Kemp Chair, and I think they might not actually sell this anymore, but you can maybe find it secondhand by just searching that name. I think it cost about $400 when I got it, which for a chair of this size that I consider a statement piece, I think is a pretty good deal. I'll say it could be a little bit more comfortable, but for the style of it, I think it's great. So let's go with 8 out of 10. Okay, Marshall speaker thing. So this is the Marshall Stanmore 2. It is a Bluetooth speaker, and I actually have it hardwired up to my record player here. The record player is vintage. It was my mom's from back in the day, so that's where that one came from. But we can also Bluetooth connect phones to this, and the sound quality, honestly, is really amazing. So yes, I would recommend this. Plus it just looks so good too. So 10 out of 10. Okay, the Bissell steam cleaner. Did it work? Let me go get it because I have some opinions. Okay, this is it. This is the Bissell Little Green Pro Heat Steam Cleaner, and this was about $150 to $200, and I don't like it. It is so loud. Here, let me actually show you. That is much louder than my vacuum. I thought that it would be a steam cleaner in the sense that it would get my couch wet, clean it, and then instantly dry it with steam. Not the case. It did not take the stains out. It made my couch soaking wet. It took forever to dry. 1 out of 10. All of the dried plants around my house. This question just killed me because of the way it was worded. Yes, I literally do have some from dead fields, but we'll talk about that in a second. So my answer varies depending on which one we're talking about because I have a lot around my house. So for example, this one here came from Michael's. They have a dried floral section. I think these are called bunny tails. They were a really good price, so yes, would recommend 10 out of 10. This one, however, back here came from Etsy, and I ordered it back when pampas grasses were really popping off and they were hard to find in person in Canada. And by the time we factor in shipping and import duties and all that, it was over $100 for these, which is a total waste of money. Now you can find them everywhere. These ones came from a local florist, and I'll put the name in the description for anyone that's in Toronto, and that's where I would highly recommend you get them from. Local florists anywhere are carrying these now, I find, and you can get them for a pretty decent price. I think it maybe was like 30 bucks for both of these, which is really good in my opinion. And then going back to the original question of a dead field, these are sourced from right behind my house. They just kind of grow wild here in Toronto. I don't know about the rest of the world, but that's where these came from. Now, obviously these are nowhere near the exact quality of the big fluffy white pampas grasses you might get on Etsy, but if you're just going for that dried floral look, I think these do the job. But I do need to say, please, please, please be cautious when taking anything from the wild. Don't go anywhere that you do not have permission to be. Don't go on people's private properties for this. Please be very mindful about anything like that because we want to keep the wild wild. Okay, fireplaces. I got asked about both that I own, but we'll talk about the second one when I go upstairs. So first is this one. This is my #1 most asked about item in my whole home, so let's talk about it. This fireplace is an electric fireplace, so it does not burn real wood. It does heat up, even though we never really use that feature. We mostly just use it for like the light it produces because it's such like a nice calming glow effect. I got this fireplace off of Kijiji from someone. It's like the biggest steal of my entire life. I think I paid maybe $60 for it. Now, unfortunately, the person I got it off of did not know where it came from originally, so I don't know who the actual maker of this one is, but if you were to look it up, it's in the style of Malm fireplaces. I don't think this one is an authentic Malm fireplace. If it is, I got an amazing deal because they are a couple $1,000s for the real ones, I think. But if you are trying to look for things that are in this style, that would be the thing to search. Oh, and my review of it, I think it's obvious. This is like 100 out of 10, like my favorite thing in my whole home that I would, if I had to bring something with me to a new place, I would be bringing this over anything else. So yeah, safe to say it's my favorite. I love it.
So coming back upstairs, let's start right here in the kitchen with this runner. So some of you were asking me about the runner. I got it from Etsy. It's a vintage Turkish rug. Honestly, this one, I originally bought it for the basement and it actually works really well here. But the reason I wasn't able to use it in the basement because the color is a lot like creamier and yellowier than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be more of like a white runner. So it really didn't work in the basement with all the really bright whites, but up here I have a lot more tones going on. So it kind of works up here, especially with my current green countertops. But I will say it was like not what I was expecting, and I don't know how long it will stay with me until I resell it. So I'm gonna give it like a 4 out of 10. But I will link the Etsy shop and similar Etsy shops below. That's where I've been getting a lot of my rugs. I find that it's like vintage, it's secondhand. Those are the same thing kind of. Honestly, Etsy is one of my go-to for rugs, but also isn't like $4,000. It's more like, you know, $5,000 to $1,000 depending on the size, which is not bad. Working our way over here to the dining nook, I always get questions about these chairs, which actually the office has them too in their boardroom. And these are from Homecraft Decor, which is like a wholesaler retailer here in Toronto. But if you look up elbow chair on the internet, you are going to find a lot of versions of this chair. So that's where we got them, but you can find them, I think, in many places. Honestly, for what it is, it's not an office chair, it is a dining chair. I feel like it's like a little wobbly, but I'm still gonna get it like a 7 out of 10. They look pretty good, and I think pretty classic too. You guys are wondering if this hutch is good for long-term work from home. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I don't work from home that much. I'm usually like running around DIYing, like I'm not sitting here all of the time. And it does allow me to put, you know, have a place for my charger and everything, so that is great. But I also am still gonna sit at my dining room table in the sunlight if I have the option. And obviously I don't have like proper chairs, so like work from home comfort, I would, yeah, probably say this Hutch is a 4 out of 10. But looks wise, using it the way I need it to work, which is not a full-time work from home space, it's a 9 out of 10. I feel like this is a view you guys see a lot because I take selfies in my mirror, my full-length mirror here. And then you get to see this background of my not yet complete living room. But this sconce, this sconce. This was a $30 Kijiji find. Contractor was selling them because he ripped them out of an office. It's obviously a replica lamp, but whew, this one, I mean, I know it seems like a weird place for a arm sconce, like usually on either side of the fireplace you would do something different, but I really love, I don't want to spoil the living room guys, but I really like the way it's framing everything currently. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. No, a 9 out of 10. You know what? We're gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because this was $30. Like, never gonna get a good deal like that again, ever. Speaking of good deals, you guys were asking about this mirror. This mirror, don't come for me, I got from the Restore. Before I even moved into this house, I bought it thinking it was gonna be my vanity mirror, which is hilarious because it is 4 feet tall and my ceilings are like
6.4 feet
in the basement. So I don't know where your vanities go, but like that, the math just ain't adding up. So this is from the Restore. It was $250 at the Restore, which is, you know, not like it wasn't nothing. It's still a little chunk of money. It's a super heavy mirror, so that's a downside. It did come with some damage, but I will say that the original mirror from LT, which is a furniture store in Toronto, I think was $1,200 when I looked it up. That's $1,000 off. Cha-ching, thank you. But as for rating it, I know you guys are gonna hate me. Are you gonna hate me? So I just feel like everybody loves this. Like every single person that comes over, they're like, wow, it fits so perfectly. And yeah, you're right, it does. But I also feel like it's just a little glam for my taste, like the gold. It just feels a little glam. So I actually don't love it as much as everybody else does. But also I do really like it. Like it's not like I hate it. I'm just kind of like, sometimes I have mixed feelings. So because of that, because it's super heavy, so I'm trying to think about if I can put it anywhere else in my home, but it's so heavy because it has a little bit of damage on it, but it was a good deal. Okay, stop digressing. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah. So over here, my friend Entryway, I don't know if I should be offended that like a lot of you guys are asking if I regret building the shoe bench. Like, should I regret it? I think it's exactly what I needed. It's built-in storage, it's pretty seamless, it looks good. I will say I think the top, I missed the mark. I should have planed the edges. I didn't, you know, wasn't thinking of it. I do have a friend with a planer, so hey Chris, maybe I'm gonna come by with my wood. Because it'd be nice if it had nice sharp edges instead of like just the rounded lumber edges. The paint color didn't come through. It was supposed to be the same color as the wall, but I used a different type of paint, so the color isn't really there. But that being said, I do think it's still a good idea, and I literally don't know what else I would do if I didn't have this. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Oh, and you're wondering about the hinges? Yeah, I still haven't fixed them. So that's like a 0 out of 10 for me, I'm sorry. You also may notice that I don't have a rug here anymore in the entryway. That was a little bit of a regret. I think that the piece itself was okay, but in my space, the hues were totally off. Even though it was green and it seemed like it was gonna work, it just felt way too blue, so kicked it to the curb. No, I sold it. I sold it. I did not throw it out. And I would have returned it if the stores were open, but you know, lockdown. And then lastly over here, somebody was asking me about curtains in my living room, which I'm assuming they mean this entryway because they're the roll down kind. And do I regret them? No, I think I like the look of them. And I mean, it's not as easy as just like pulling a string, but maybe I'm just super used to it. And I'm like, this is not a big deal at all. But I mean, if you had them all over your house, it might get annoying, but it's also not hard.
Okay, let's go upstairs. Okay, this mirror came from Kijiji. Like so many other things in my home, it was a secondhand piece to me. It cost me about $400, but it was originally from a store called LT, which I don't know if this is elsewhere outside of Toronto, but Either way, I will link their store website below. And from that store, this easily would have been a couple thousand because the furniture there is quite pricey. So I think I got a really good deal on this one. It is huge. I had to pay a bunch of my friends in alcoholic beverages to help me move it up my stairs. Very grateful for them, but I think it is a beautiful statement piece and I'm glad to have it, so I still love it. I'd say 9 out of 10. And moving right along to the thing that is literally right behind me, my Comfort Works cover. I would definitely recommend them, and I think this is a really good thing to spend money on because if you want to get a couch that's comfortable, it's not always that the comfortable couches are the aesthetically pleasing ones, and sometimes the really nice looking couches are not comfortable. So what I would say is go to IKEA, get a couch that you think is really comfy, and then go online and buy a custom cover for it if you have the budget, because I think that's a really good way to get a really unique looking piece that you know is going to be comfortable. The one I have up here, I believe is like a linen material. I'm gonna put the link to the exact material and color that it is below. I love it, it's so soft. 10 out of 10, honestly. Okay, got a lot of questions about where this lamp is from. Unfortunately, I can't give you an exact link because it's kind of a DIY hack. So the main base, the brass base, is from a HomeSense lamp. It had a plastic shade on it that I took off and instead put on my own lamp shade that came from the hardware store. If you want all the details on how I actually did it, it's saved in a highlight on my Instagram called Bedroom. But really happy with how it's looking right now, so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Okay, let's do fireplace combo part 2. So the fireplace, like surround, this whole white part up here, I actually built in a video. It was a DIY and I still love how it turned out so much. So 9 out of 10 on that. But the fireplace insert itself, a little bit of a different story. So I got this off of Facebook Marketplace, and when I bought it, I didn't actually like see it in action. I was just told it worked, so that was good enough for me. But when I got it home and we turned it on, a little bit of a different story, so I'll just show you. The fire projection itself is more just like a screen, like a flat screen playing on the back, versus the one downstairs is a very like 3D realistic looking fire. Don't know if you can hear the sound. It kind of puts out a bit of a high-pitched whine, which is not the most relaxing thing to listen to. And the best part of this is that it actually came with a sound effect button, which it's just truly so bad. When I turned it on, Austin and I both audibly laughed out loud because of how cheesy it is. In no way does this sound like a realistic crackling fire at all. The aesthetic of the whole thing is great. The fireplace insert itself, not so great. I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10. Okay, my bed and my mattress. I'm here to say that while this bed and mattress combo I think is the single most expensive thing I've spent money on in my whole home, it is 100% a well worth it purchase. This specific mattress is a Sealy Posturepedic Gillam mattress, and we have it in a king. And then the bed frame itself is from CB2. It is the facade bed in the color Snow, and it was expensive as well, but I do absolutely love it so much. It's like a really soft white fabric. I was worried about how the white would hold up, but so far it's held up really well. It's still very white. But I want to bring this back to another question I had and say that you don't have to spend money on a bed frame. Like, spend the money on a good mattress and you can get away with, I think, a less expensive bed frame. So going back to the original question, this bed and bed frame, 10 out of 10. I literally think my sleep is so much better in this new bed setup. It's my favorite place to be in this whole house, is right here in my bed. Oh, okay. So you guys want the tea for this next one. Okay, I'll give it to you. Please ignore the state of my backyard. I am gonna be doing a vlog where I clean it up for summer, so stay tuned for that. So the only article furniture that I actually currently own in my home is this outdoor patio set, and I will say that it does look less comfortable than it actually is. When I got these, I was convinced that I would need to be ordering outdoor patio cushions for them to be nice to sit on, and I was wrong. I was so wrong. These are so comfortable. I love sitting in these. Everyone who comes over is audibly surprised when they sit in them about how comfortable they actually are. So I'm gonna put the link to this exact set down below, and whether I recommend it, yeah. 10 out of 10, honestly. It looks so cute. It's held up outside really well, and it is actually quite comfortable. Sorry if that wasn't as tea spilly as you wanted. So this fire pit down here was a Home Depot fire pit, and it was actually really expensive when I bought it. I do think that it is a great fire pit for functionality. I love it. It's held up great. It's really big, but I would just say if you're looking for a fire pit, maybe do a little bit more research and maybe you can find one for a better price that works just as well, because I don't know if the price was worth it, but I love it. So I'm conflicted on what rating to give it. I don't know. Let's go 8 out of 10. Do your research though. I think they don't need to be that expensive. Before we end it, we just want to reveal something really exciting. This has been a project that's been in the works for so long. You guys have been asking for it for so long, so we are so excited to finally bring it to you. What is it, Kelsey?
Oh my gosh, this is our new series. Hopefully a not a regret, not a fail. Hopefully it's a 10 out of 10. It is called How to Go Do, and this is the series that's just like the basics of everything and anything that we can think of and that you guys want to hear. So here is a little trailer that tells you a little bit more about the series.
You guys are always asking us how to use specific DIY tools and how to do specific DIY techniques.
So we're bringing you a whole new series that explains it all. We're talking how to use a nail gun,
How to patch a hole in a wall,
what is the difference between a drill and a driver,
how do I get a crisp line when painting, or how do I fix a giant hole in my jeans?
and so many skills simply explained so that you can tackle your next DIY project or honestly just life.
You can go check out the new series right here on the TheSorryGirls YouTube channel or in the How to Go Do playlist linked here.
Make sure that you guys are subscribed and you have the notification bell lit, because I know that you're gonna wanna know these basics for your next DIY project.
So while we might not be totally like flooring you with entertainment value through the roof, we hope this is a series that you can come back to whenever you need advice on how to do something, how to learn a new skill, and our aim is to just put this stuff in really easy to understand words so we can help you out on your DIY journeys.
Of course, and as you guys saw, there's 2 episodes already out. These are gonna come out very regularly over time, and we'll definitely need your recommendations anywhere on Instagram, here, comments, community tab of what tutorials you wanna see, like what basics do you need to know.
On to the outro.
Speaking
of
of
the video, there are definitely a couple things that I spent a lot of money on, kind of wish I didn't, and some of them I don't own anymore, which would answer why I regret them. One of them that came to mind was actually something in my old house, and this was the West Elm rug. Do you know the like fluffy one I had?
Oh yeah, the one that shed a lot and you like bought a Roomba to literally like solve that problem, and it still didn't solve the problem.
Yeah, so that was like the it rug of the time. It was definitely like, I think over $1,000. And
yeah,
I wish I just listened to the reviews because everyone said it was a sheddy mess, and it was. So
you're like, it'll be fine, and it was not fine.
I know, I was like, ugh, they're just being dramatic. So I don't have that anymore. But as for something more recent, you guys remember I reupholstered that chair that was vintage. I wanted to love that chair so hard because you guys did not like that I recovered it, so I wanted it to be a major win for me. And although I think I did a really good job on it, I think it turned out great, it just doesn't have the perfect spot in my home. So I've actually since given it to you, Kelsey, to use to stage.
Yeah, so it actually, the story of this chair is that it went up to my parents' house to stage, and then I was like, I just want to see what it's like in my living room. So it's actually here in my living room right now.
Is it?
Yeah, just to like see the size, because I've been looking for an armchair, so I was like, you know, I want to suss out sizes. But my parents were literally like, can you take that chair back to Caledon so that they can actually stage it to sell the house? So it's doing its job. It might not work in your living room, but it's doing the rounds for sure.
I'm glad it has a really good home, or multiple good homes.
Yeah, it's definitely living its life. In my space, this is the thing that kind of sticks out to me as like a DIY I wish I kind of differently, and that would be the like hook system in my front entryway. I think like the idea of the hooks there makes so much sense. I was like, oh, I don't want sharp corners, so let's do round. And now I'm like, maybe that doesn't work. I did it this project with my dad, so it holds a little spot in my heart. But when I look at it, there's parts of me that I'm just like, I want to do something different, but I actually still just don't know what. So it's just gonna stay like that until one day I have a eureka moment. And I don't think it's a full like demo. I just think there's like, maybe the color needs to change, maybe the edges need to change. I don't know what it is.
You have a whole house to finish making over before you can remake over the makeover.
Yeah, there's still making home episodes coming, guys, don't you worry. And then once those are done, they'll be like, we'll start again.
Remaking home.
Yeah, oh God.
Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you found it interesting and we answered some of your questions. I didn't get to every every single one of the things I was asked about, so maybe there'll be a part 2 in the future. Let us know.
Yeah, that's a good point. You guys only asked me about spaces that I've pretty much already done, and there's a lot of spaces that I haven't yet done. So maybe we'll revisit for sure. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And I just also want to say how to go do, as well as some more Loft Vibes episodes are coming up. Hopefully getting back into the swing of things. So thank you guys for being with us throughout this year of, you know, switching up content a little bit, but it's been really fun and we appreciate you and we hope you enjoy our new series too.
All right, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.